Hi y'all, it's Laura from Backyard Naturalist Tarot. While I originally made this channel just to upload art progress videos, I did want to pop on here today to share what I've learned so far about a very new cardstock that I at least am quite interested in. That is the new Eco Herbage being offered by Make Playing Cards. MPC is known for their ability to print decks on demand on a one-by-one basis, among other things. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, and these will be my own opinions, but as far as I can tell, they are the only company currently offering an environmentally friendly cardstock made from, as they describe, grass and leafy parts of plants. I'm midway into designing a deck myself, and occasionally when I'm burnt out on creativity, I switch over to research and logistics as my weird brain finds numbers soothing. I'd already ordered samples of my cards to compare linen and smooth finishes, so I thought, what the heck, and ordered a set in the brand new Eco Herbage. MPC will send you samples of all these things, by the way, but I was more interested in color matching and various details of my specific designs on the cardstock. And just a disclaimer, this isn't intended to be a video about my deck, which is not even halfway finished, but it's kind of what I have to work with. So without further ado. All three kinds of cardstock I ordered are standard tarot size. It's what you're probably used to seeing in most mass market decks and a lot of indie decks as well. S30 standard smooth and M31 linen at MPC are both around 300 GSM. The E27 Eco Herbage is well under 300 GSM and does in fact feel very light. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, by the way, Lisa Papez did a fantastic comprehensive cardstock video months ago that I'll link down below. Anyway, I would go so far as to say the Eco is wafer-like. I'm being relative here, of course. None of these cards are really that stiff, but the standard smooth is the stiffest of the three. The linen falls in the middle, and the Eco Herbage is the least stiff. That is, it feels most flexible and also most like regular paper and the least like cardstock. And on that note, it doesn't feel as sturdy as the other two. In fact, it doesn't feel sturdy at all, but after shipping and a couple days of riffle shuffling, which it does super easily, I haven't had any nicks, bends, or tears, so I suspect that it's a little hardier than it feels, at least. Like the smooth and the linen, it's not thick and sturdy, but it does handle really well. Now to the stuff that, as an artist, I particularly care about. Most importantly, don't expect true white to print on this cardstock. Generally, CMYK printers can't actually print opaque white, so this is nothing new in the industry, but it does matter on non-white paper. I've chosen several of my particular designs to compare because the art had true white in it, or at least as close to white as I've designed. As you can see, the purest whites do get muddied and reflect the actual color of the paper, which is a tannish off-white. This isn't disastrous for my full color, full page art, but it isn't ideal either. I wouldn't particularly recommend printing on this cardstock for a deck with like a bright pastel color scheme where you won't get the contrast or brightness you need and things could get muddy, or anything that really relies on whites and brights. It's possible a deck painted in watercolors with loose edges, for example, I'm imagining something like Linestriders, might actually look painted right on, which could be amazing. Details get lost in printing to a degree, even at very high resolutions. I submitted the same artwork for all three of these format-wise. I designed them in a vector program for various reasons, but they're exported as 300 DPI CMYK JPEGs, which is hopefully enough acronyms to get you through the week. The point is they were all identical quality print-ready images. As you can hopefully see, the smooth standard cardstock shows my details the best. Second place is the linen, where the texture starts to obscure the finer details, and unsurprisingly, the Eco Herbage obscures details even more. It is less fibrous than I expected, possibly because every inch is covered in ink, but there's still a lot of loss of my tinier details. Of course, once upon a time, I majored in scientific illustration, so my particular details can get pretty tiny. None of these cards are gloss finish, of course, but the Eco Herbage is the least glossy of the three. While the smooth and linen do still pick up an isolated glare at times, the Eco Herbage disperses a bright direct light across the whole card, The ink itself reflects it to a tiny degree. It's no foil stamped effect or anything, but it is kind of an all over low key shimmer. Otherwise, it's of course super matte, which in my opinion is super nice. And a quick note of interest about pricing. Standard linen and Eco Herbage cost exactly the same on MPC, which is kind of unhelpful. So to be honest, I haven't decided when, where, or how I'll get my deck printed. All the research I'm doing now is exploratory and slightly meandering. This is not a project I'm in a rush about. But I can tell you after studying my designs on these three distinctly different but all pleasant varieties of cardstock, I still haven't made any decisions. I love the texture and feel of the linen. I love the crisp details that show up on the smooth. And I love the environmental friendliness and ultra matte of the Eco. I'd be interested to hear what y'all think if you have a favorite, or feel free to float along an indecision. You're in good company. Thanks for watching.